Okay, well, it's 10 o'clock, so if you're okay, we can go ahead and get things started, Steve.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Dana Myers, and I'm with Southeast Community College, and I would like to thank all of you for joining us for getting a grip on project breakdown tools. This is the last webinar in our series with Steve. Before we begin, I want to let everyone know that you have joined us with the ability to manage your audio and video to help create a more interactive session. You are welcome to contribute to the conversation throughout the webinar. However, we do ask that you remain on mute while in listening mode. We will also have a Q&A session following the presentation where you are welcome to ask questions or submit your questions in the Zoom Q&A feature, and we will answer as many as our time allows. With that being said, I would like to introduce Steve Slate. Steve has more than 30 years of project experience and has taught for more than 5 years at the university level. Work experience includes several years at the Hewlett-Packard Company, as well as work with various nonprofits. He now owns Witerations LLC that helps clients not just think outside of the box, but to literally outwit the box. Steve is a certified project management professional and holds bachelor's and master's degrees from Colorado Christian University. And with that, Steve, I'm going to turn everything over to you.
All right, thank you. It's great to be with you guys again. I see some familiar face or familiar names. Saw Luke earlier, and Dane, of course, your faces are familiar. But it is good to have each of you back again. And if there's anybody new, welcome. Glad to have you part of this. Today's session is going to be a little bit, well, actually, it's going to be significantly different than what we've done in the past. We're going to look at some actual tools that some of you maybe have used. I have no doubt that if some of you have used some of these tools, you're probably better at them than I am and may know them better than I do. And so feel free to speak up. There's no territorialism here. If you have some hints or tips or ideas to make it better or some tricks you can do to make it do some things that help you out more, please do speak up. Love to hear from you. And I did solicit for some project ideas, and we did get some ideas, a couple, and we're going to be looking at those. But if you have some ideas of some actual projects that you're working on or want to work on or have thought about working, whether they be home-based work, maybe you're doing some work for a nonprofit or a charity, if you have some projects you'd like to look at as we go through these tools, we'll try to take a minute or two to maybe see how we can help break that down. So as we've talked about, going way back to number one, projects are all about planning, front loading the planning up ahead of time so that when the actual project starts in the execution mode, you are better able to handle the project. You're better able to get through it because you spent the time planning up front. And so what we're going to do is look at tools that will help you plan. And let's start with MindMeister. MindMeister is a mind mapping software. It sounds kind of surreal or crazy or something, but this page, I put it in the chat. The link to this page, these are not links to the actual things that I've set up. It's just links to MindMeister, links to Basecamp, the general software. So we're gonna, basically what I would like for you to do this morning is help me drive. So let's just go to the MindMeister. I've already got that open. One of the ideas that was sent in was a product catalog project, and I'm going to tell you right off the bat, it is way more complex than what I've got here. But what I would like to start with is to have everybody here to help me build out this project, to break it down. So let me show you, let me start with what I've done thus far, which is very limited. But product catalog is the project. This is the project. So then what I've done here at the highest level is created milestones. One is complete product definitions, or what are we defining? What's going to go into the product catalog? We want to get pictures, so that's another milestone. What is the third milestone? What's the fourth milestone? And on through here. So what I need your help with is to come up with ideas of what the main milestones will be, and then we'll break it down into tasks. So this is a great tool for a group. So you're working on a team, you've got to come up with a breakdown for a project. What are the steps we have to take? How do we do it? Well, mind mapping is a wonderful tool to help you do just that. And MindMeister is one of many. And I just realized my dog is behind me in the window. So if you hear a little yip or yap, I apologize for that. So yeah, that's Fred back there hiding in the window. So all right. So as we go ahead, hopefully everybody can see the screen. Do they see the window that's open? Have I shared that? Okay. It doesn't have the green bar around it, so I wasn't sure if it was shared. So this is a product catalog project. So maybe one of the first tasks would be to complete the project definitions. Maybe the next, not task, but the milestone. Maybe the next milestone would be gather product images. Let me back up just a bit to say that this session could go an hour. It could go 3 minutes. It's going to be dependent upon you helping me drive it. So if please speak up, come up with your ideas, with your thoughts, and we'll try to build this out. And again, this was sent in by one of the listeners today, or one of the participants today. We're building a product catalog. We're completing product definitions. We're gathering product images. What would be another milestone towards getting this project done, getting a product catalog? Feel free to just speak up. You may have to unmute yourself. You should have ability to speak, but you may have to unmute yourself. But we'd love to hear your ideas for milestones to make this happen.
We did have Laura put in the chat. She suggested gather product descriptions.
Okay. Okay. Let me change this to that.
Okay.
Okay. Gather product descriptions. I think that's better. That's a better way to put what I had written out. Okay. What are some more milestones, significant events to help make a product catalog project happen? Catalog
We have,
cover.
yep.
Okay. Dana, I'll let you do that from now on.
Okay.
I'll let you monitor that and tell me. So catalog
Sounds good.
Cover designs, good. All right. What are some other milestones to get this product catalog project together?
Inside template options.
Okay.
And we have build website.
Okay. Okay, any more milestones? We can always add more.
We also have categorize, but I don't know if Jeff,
Categorize course offerings or product offerings, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? One or two more. Okay.
How about, could there be like a marketing plan?
Okay. So what I do is I click on this center thing and I hit tab. And it pops open another little balloon for me. And create marketing plan. Okay.
And then we also have like a cart checkout process, checkout payment process.
So
and then,
to the listener that sent this in, was this designed to be an online or was this designed to be a paper? That's something I should have specified earlier. So was that you, Laura, I think? Was that you that sent this idea? Well, let's go ahead and make it online. Let's just go ahead and do that. So yeah, that's fine. So all right, let's come up with one or two more categories, and then we'll call it good, and then we'll start breaking it down. Rating.
how about a customer rating? Like how would you, so people can rank it?
All right, good. All right, so here are some ideas. Now, let's look at the order that everything is in. So let's assume that we're going around the circle like this, starting with gather, then we're gathering product images, catalog cover design, create a marketing plan, create customer ratings. Are those in the right order? I would suggest that customer ratings is probably the last thing, so we could slide that over there. And somebody might disagree, and you're welcome to disagree. Template options, then we're going to build the website. We're probably going to want to categorize before we build. So we'll put that up in there. I think, would the cart checkout payment process actually be part of the website? I think so. So let's just actually make that a subtask of that. And customer ratings would probably be part of the website as well. So the idea here that we want to do is give you an idea of how this can help you as you're creating a project plan, as you're working on that. How this online option, you can just move stuff around so easily. You don't have to erase everything and start all over. You just scoot stuff around. So what are some specific tasks that would be taken to gather product descriptions? What would be the first task maybe, or one of the tasks? We can always move those around too. Any ideas for that? What are we doing to gather product descriptions? What are some specific tasks? And again, feel free to use your microphone or the chat. Either way is fine.
So we have ask the builder of the product to describe what it does.
Okay. Now, let's assume that there are multiple products because it's a catalog. So maybe we ask product builders, and maybe that's what you said. I'm sorry if you did, ask product builders. So we're going to schedule meetings with the product builders to describe what their products do, okay?
We also have get inventory of products.
Okay.
Kind of confirm, like get inventory and confirm inventory. So both of those.
Okay, and that's a good idea because maybe somebody's working on a product, but they're not ready yet for prime time. You put it in your catalog and everybody's asking about this great whiz-bang product and it's not ready. So confirm availability, I think, is that one way to?
Yeah. We also have check all product numbers and pricing.
Availability of products. Okay, so I need to create another task. So if I click there and hit the tab button, okay, that takes me off of this one. So I need to go back here and hit the tab, and that gives me another bubble at this level. So what was that one again, Dana?
It was check all product numbers and pricing.
Okay, good. So now we're starting to build a product plan or a project plan. We've come up with ask product builders to describe. We're going to gather the full inventory. Maybe we gather the inventory first. Maybe that goes there. Okay, sometimes you goof and the software does things you don't mean for it to do, and that's what happened there. So I'm just going to hit an undo, and we'll just try to, there we go, reorder them a little bit. We're going to gather the inventory, then we're going to ask the builders, then we're going to confirm that everything's going to be ready, and we're going to check all product numbers. Anything else with this task? Okay. What about gather product images? How are we going to go about doing that? How are we going to, what tasks are we going to undertake to do that? Okay, I see a question, is MindMeister free or do you have to pay for it? It's, I bought this some time ago, the license for it. It's not terribly expensive. I think there are a lot of free options as well. If you look up mind mapping, there's a ton of them. So this is, as a matter of fact, the Miro has a mind mapping module in it. So we'll go back to that in just a bit. So for gather product images, take description list and complete project and compile product to take pictures. Okay. So let's see here. Hit the tab button and we're going to take description list and compile product to take pictures. Excuse me. We might want to vet a photographer or find photographer. Maybe we want to, let's see, we're going to have to schedule a whole bunch of sessions, schedule photography sessions, depending on the size of the catalog, right? Or perhaps, depending on the product, maybe we're going to look at stock photo sites for appropriate pictures. So that's, in a nutshell, that is one product called MindMeister, and this is the mapping product to help you through that. I'd love a little bit of audience participation right now. Do you see a use for this in some of the work you do, and what use would that be? Because maybe you have some ideas that I haven't thought of, some thoughts. So you guys are really, really quiet today, and we've given you the mic opportunity. Take it. You have a voice. So love to hear from you. Do you see a practical use for something like this and something you do? And what is it? And would you share it with everybody on the call?
This is Laura.
Yes, Laura.
I like this layout. It's nice because you can see all the different people and activities that will be involved.
Uh-huh.
Is there a way to export this image or content so that it could be shared with other people?
You can share it via Facebook. You can put it on Twitter or Pinterest. You can publish it so it's on the web, and you can, there's some other sharing things, and there are some export options. Let's see, I had seen those, and then there's actually another product called Meister Project that I have actually not worked with, that you can integrate this with that project program.
Yeah, what if you have a team? How do you put a task with one team member so we know that they're specifically working on either the gathering up the products or writing the descriptions or whatever? That's
a really good question. This is more for the brainstorming session. This is more for the brainstorming piece than actually setting up the full project plan. This is the bones of your project plan, but for actually adding people, and I think that's what the Meister task that kind of links in with this does. And I wish I had more information on that. I just noticed that that's a new product. I hadn't seen that before. So so there is that I can't tell you a whole lot about because I've not used it, but this is more for the brainstorming, just coming up with ideas. Now you can share this with the team so everybody can be working on it at once, just like Miro. There's some things you can do that way that you've seen before that we'll look at again today. So there are a lot of things you can do with it, but this is really more the brainstorming, just a visual, to get a good idea of what's going on. Of course, you can use some of the tools here as well. You can create little links between ideas if you want to. So there's a lot of different options that you can get with this. A lot of different colors you can use, flags and things like that. But for your final project plan, this isn't as good. It's good just for the brainstorming piece. So hopefully that helps with that.
Is that the only map image, or are there other sort of shapes or
There
layouts?
are other shapes. There are a ton of other things you can do with this, and some of the other mind map software takes it crazy places. Just a quick Google search on mind mapping software. You'll see there's 10 of them that you can use.
I guess, but in that product, is that the only visual sort of shape that you work with? There aren't other types of layouts within that product?
There are. It has been long enough that I've used it that I'd have to play with it a little bit to give you a better. I know you can bring in pictures. I know you can change them and use different templates and things like that. There's a lot more you can do with it. It's just, I'd have to play with it. It's been long enough since I've really used it to be able to tell you that definitively. I know that's the wrong answer and I apologize, but hopefully, I know there's a free version that you can play with and get some ideas with it. So yeah, there are other options, but for this particular one, MindMeister, this is just kind of the standard that comes with it. So not a real good answer. I realize that. So, all right. Let's look at another idea that was sent in was that we'll be using Basecamp with. So I don't know if you've heard of Basecamp. That's another one. Now this is better at the specific tasks. This is better at setting up a schedule. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Basecamp is not my preference, but there's a lot of people that really like it. A lot of people that use it a lot. So I'm going to ask for your input again on this. And this idea was on building a dream house. So I've come up with just a couple things. It gives you lists. You can create a list, and underneath lists, you can set up tasks. So, so here are a couple things. I completed a to-do, I reopened it, and so forth. So in the scheduling thing, what we want to do is create a, actually, let me go home. Okay, here are the lists. So the project overall is called Dream Home. We've got an option to do a message board that attaches to it. You can attach documents and files. You've got a to-do. Here we go. This was the one I was looking for. So I've created a list called Find Land, and I've created, so this would be the same as the milestone that we created in the last one. So I've created a milestone, Find Land. Here they call it a list. I've created a milestone, Select a Builder. And again, they call that a list. So if there were going to be some more milestones, let's create some new milestones. So jump in here if you would, via the speaker or via the use your voice or use the chat. What are some other milestones to building a dream home that you would want to see? Now we're not
Find an architect to build it.
Okay. So we're going to name this list architect. We're going to add that list. So now we've got
We have landscaping.
Okay. So let's go back to the to-dos here. So we've got architect. We're going to create a new list called landscaping. Okay, go back to to-dos. And here I can take these and move them around to put them in a chronological order. I don't know if you can see them on your screens. There's just 3 little lines there. You just grab it, pull it down. So we're going to find the land. We're going to select a builder. We're going to get an architect. We're going to get think about landscaping. What are some other things? Some other milestones, big tasks or big pieces of the project.
A budget.
Okay, set a budget.
And interior design.
Okay. All right. So we'll go back to the to-dos and let's go ahead. Set a budget is probably something you would do at the very beginning. Interior design, probably after architect. I don't know, that could go different places. So what are some tasks? What are some specific to-do tasks that would go along with setting a budget? And Laura, I believe it was you had asked the question, where do we do the assign to? And here you have that option to do an assign to. So we're going to assign this to you, Laura. Now, the only thing is I did forget, you have to build a team first. And so since there is no team built at this point, I'm the only one on it. I'll just assign it to myself. When I typed in Laura, I didn't see a Laura, so it just ignored it. So you would have to go in and set up your team ahead of time. And then you can say on a specific day, we want to have that done. I do need to describe the to-do. I need to maybe go talk to banker, find out what or talk to loan officer maybe, to see what we qualify for. So there we have a talk to loan officer task. And as we go through these tasks, then maybe we find the land, lots for look for lots on FSBO sites for sale by owner. Once we've accomplished that task, we just check it off. And for those of you who are like me that kind of like checklists, you can check things off and call it done. So that's a quick look at Basecamp. That's another tool that you can use for breaking down a project. Have anybody here used Basecamp before? Crystal, I see that you said yes. Would you be willing to tell us what you used it for? And if you don't want to, I totally understand. No obligation.
No, that's fine. Well, we used Basecamp a long time ago, so it wasn't this detailed. A majority of Basecamp was used just to transfer files.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that was basic, and then to set up a timeline.
Okay.
But other than that, it was never this detailed.
Okay. Yeah, this is Basecamp 3. Basecamp 2 has a different look. There's a calendar view and some different things you can do with it. But
so we must have been using Basecamp 1.
Okay.
Because it was a long time ago.
Back in the dark ages of the internet, huh?
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. So yeah, it's been around a while. Basecamp has been here for quite some time, and they've taken a different approach. I think you can still have projects on Basecamp 1. So I don't think they completely eliminate when they do a new build. I think you can go back. And one of the nice things is you can get emails, email messages and things like that, reminders that your task is due and things of that nature. What I've found in a lot of cases is if a group has a lot of projects going on, if you don't continually as a project manager remind them, whether it be automated or whether it be you look through and send them a list, whatever that case is, things just fall through the cracks. And one of the things that I found too in projects is if you assign a project to a team, what do you think happens when you assign a project, or I'm sorry, when you assign a task? What happens when you assign a task to a team? What do you think happens? Any thoughts on that? Either chat or use your microphone.
No one owns it.
Exactly. Nobody owns it. So when I assign a task, I assign it to a person always. And then I always make the task actionable. There has to be an action. Look for, talk to, do this, do that. So it has to be specific enough so that they know what you're talking about, and it has to be assigned to a person. Doesn't necessarily mean that person is going to do that task, but it does mean that that person is responsible to see that that task gets done. So it's important that you assign tasks to individuals, no matter what product you use, no matter what tool you use. Anybody else has used Basecamp and want to give us just a brief, tell us just a little bit about what you've done with it or how it's worked for you? Anybody at all? Dana, can you email everybody some caffeine?
Yeah. Will do.
So if only we could get it that quickly, huh? Caffeine via email. All right. Well, that's a look at Basecamp. So that's, I mean, this is just a real high level. Basecamp is, I don't remember if, let's see if Basecamp has a pricing, if there's a free version or not. Now, Monday is one I'm not including. Monday, there's been a lot, if you ever see anything, if you ever type in anything project management YouTube, Monday does a lot of advertising. I have not used it personally, so I don't know about it. It does look like you can get a free trial with Basecamp. It looked like that in the description anyway here. So there are some things you can do to explore it a little bit, at least before you make that purchase. But a lot of people really do like Basecamp. It's not my favorite, but it can be good. So this is a simple. Have any of you heard of a Kanban board? I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it right. Kanban, Kanban. What this is it's a very simple project board. This would be more used maybe in the Agile world or Kanban. You have a list called to do, you have a list called in progress, and you have a list called done. So let's have somebody, I know you guys aren't talking a lot today, but hopefully one of you will. What's a little project that you can think of? Maybe a home project or something simple that you could think of that we could use as a project. Anybody want to type something in or open up your mic? Okay, so let's, Dana, let me put you on the spot. I see you here. So what's a project around the house that you think would be nice to do?
We are refacing our kitchen cabinets.
All right, refacing kitchen cabinet project.
Mm-hmm.
So what are all the tasks? Anybody can join in. Oh, I see another one, remodeling a bathroom. We're gonna go with Dana's now, Sarah. Sorry about that. maybe we can use the bathroom for the next one. So for this one, we've got all these to-do things. So we can add cards. Each one of these is called a card. So we're gonna edit this one, and we're gonna, what's the first thing you're gonna need to do to reface your kitchen cabinets, Dana?
Well, I had to make new kitchen cabinet fronts.
Oh, you build them yourself?
I did.
Oh, nice. If you need Dana's phone number for refacing your cabinets, okay, make new cabinet fronts. Well, let's even go behind that. Before you were able to make the cabinet fronts, what did you need to do?
I signed up for the wood shop class through SEC.
Okay.
Well, I guess I decided I was going to be brave and make them myself. So I made that decision.
All right. So we're going to say take woodshop class through SEC. Mm-hmm. We're going to add another card, and you would have to measure the wood, right? Measure the existing.
Yep. Had to measure the cabinets. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can't spell, but you can ignore that part. We won't worry about that right now. We're going to add another card and probably select wood.
Yep.
Okay, what's another thing you'd have to do?
Let's see.
Paint or stain?
Yes, paint, like
Okay.
sanding, painting.
Okay.
Oh yeah, choose hardware. Good one. Timeline.
Okay. We'll get back to timeline in a second.
Okay.
Choose hardware, cut wood, sand wood. Okay, so these might go in a little bit different order. Maybe we're going to choose the hardware. Maybe we're going to save that for last. So you can, again, grab these things and move them around. So back to the timeline, if you hit the little edit button, well, let's just do it this way. If you double click on it, it pops up all these different options that you can add to the card. One of the things we can do is be a little more detailed about measuring the existing cabinets. Maybe we need to remember to get tape measure. So now that might be a specific task, but it could be something, you could just add that as a reminder to yourself. You can say, I want to have this done by, say, Monday the 6th. So I'm going to save that, and then you can add other things in there. You can put who needs to do it, different things like that. So the way that you use this board then is you can put as many details in as you want through these different pieces, and then you move them through the process. So say you're working on a team and you've got 10 people on your team, and maybe you wanted to colorize. There is a way to change the color and things like that on these things. This is changed, there we go, labels, I think. So we can make that a yellow one, and that says that's Dana's task. Dana just knows that her things are yellow. So she's got the woodshop class done. All she has to do then, well, let's just say that she's in the wood class. She drags the card over here, and now the entire team knows, oh yeah, Dana's there in wood class now. She's taking it right now. And maybe she has 4 or 5 other people on the team that are working with her doing other tasks. Maybe she's assigned somebody else to cut the wood. So they have, I guess you'd have to select the wood first. So let's say that that's done. So you just move that to the done category. So you just flow these as team members get things accomplished. They take it from the to-do to the in progress to the done. So some of the Kanban boards have backlog as the very first thing on their board, and that can go all the way over there. And so you can add cards to the backlog, and the backlog might be, I want to remember in refacing the cabinets, maybe I want to pick out a new sink as well, or get a new sink. But that's not really a part of this project yet. It's just something I want to keep on hand, keep in mind that this is something I've got to do. So I'm going to put this in my backlog, and then I'll start to build that out as I get through it. Any questions about this one? Any thoughts? This is Trello. This is Trello. Okay, any questions, any thoughts? All right, has anybody used Trello before? Microsoft Planner has similar functionality. Yep. Yep. Clean layout, very much so. Okay. So that's Trello. So now I'm going to tell you that one of my favorite tools is Smartsheet, and I use this an awful lot. And I'll go through and tell you a little bit about why I use this a lot. But let's look at the remodel bathroom project. This is just another way to do projects, right? Maybe you've done your mind map and you've got all your tasks figured out. Now you're going to put them in here. But let's look at remodel bathrooms. So that's going to be our main priority. So let's just do that up here. We're going to call it remodel bathroom. So get your minds going again here just a little bit. And what is the very first task you want to? Well, let's just do major milestones again. Let's look at major milestones, no particular order, because we can always move those around. So what are some tasks that would, some of the major milestone tasks, not the specifics, but some of the major milestones in remodeling the bathroom? Find a contractor that I see, okay? Or you can just call Dana.
Right.
Okay. All right. What are some others? Select fixtures, okay. If I miss any, Dana, feel free to jump in there.
Yeah, we
Clear
have
out
clear
room.
out room prior to remodel.
Okay, that's always a good idea. Maybe let's just call that demo day, right?
Yeah. Figure out your design.
Okay, anything else? Any major milestones?
Select tile paint colors.
Okay. We'll make that 2 different ones. Okay, so here again, let's take these. Maybe the first thing you do is find a contractor. Maybe the first, so let's just say that select fixtures, select tile. Again, I'm going into the far left, clicking down, and I'm moving things around. So we're going to select everything first, then we're going to do the demo. We're going to determine the design. So actually, if you're going to determine the design, select tile, select paint, those might be subtasks to the design, right? So I'm going to select, click on the select fixtures, click on select paint, and then I'm going to indent these. There's a little indent tool right there. So what that means now is that these are subtasks to that. So now you may choose to do it differently, and that's totally okay. You can do it however you want to. But that's probably how I would do it. That's probably how I would break it down. So once again, we're looking at the big items, and then we're breaking it down. So if I only want to look at the big icons, I can click on these minus signs, and I can scale it back that way. I can see only the main things. So after demo day, what are a couple more things?
I need a budget.
Okay, budget. Maybe we have begin build. So budget would probably be way at the top. That would be part of the, you could actually have planning as a task on the left and indent all these things. Begin build, and maybe you do install tile, paint walls, install fixtures, install cabinets. Okay, obvious problem here is you don't want to put the fixtures in before you put the cabinets in, right? So we're just going to grab that, move that up, and we're going to make these subtasks of the build. So I've selected those, indented. So here on the budget, let's just pull this start date down and say we're going to start today. We're going to take a day to figure out the budget. So on June 30th, we're going to have the budget. Now you can see it's building out your Gantt chart. So this is a view of what this might look like. So I figured out my budget on let's see, July 6th. I'm going to take the rest of the week off for the 4th of July. I'm going to start back up on the 6th, find a contractor. That's going to probably take me a week. Going to determine the design. Now I'm trying to click here and no date pops up. Nothing's happening. Why? If I double click, it's because this has subtasks. So the subtasks drive what this date will be. So now I click on select fixtures. Now I have that option for a date, and that's going to roll up to that one. So we're going to start on the 13th and do the select fixtures, and we're going to take 2 days for that. Then on the 14th, take a couple days for that. So you can see now that this is building out the Gantt chart, which is commonly used in project planning. So you can look at predecessors if you'd like to. This is more of a heavier project management thing that you would do. And that is, before I select the tile, the predecessor would be line 4. So it'll just fill that in for you. And then you can put in who it's assigned to. I'm just going to assign everything to myself. And I can do things like I can send emails. So let's say that select fixtures. I want to right click on select fixtures, and there's a row actions option, and part of that row action is to send an email. So now I can send an email to myself that says, hey, don't forget to select the paint today or select the fixtures today. Now, another thing I can do with Smartsheet is I can put attachments in. So maybe I've gone to Pinterest and I've downloaded a bunch of pictures of fixtures that I really like. I can download those, and then I can put them right here in the project so that I can see I can keep everything in one place, nice and tidy. Maybe I'm discussing with my wife about this project. I really didn't like the $20,000 faucet for obvious reasons. So I can keep track of notes. We can have a conversation back and forth. And again, you can share this outside of your organization. You can share the sheet with anybody, and they can comment on it, and they can say what they want to say and do things like, talk back and forth, add pictures, add documentation. Maybe you get different builds or different, as you're selecting the contractor, maybe you get different bids from how much they're going to charge you. You can store them all right here, right in your Smartsheet. So there's some really cool things you can do with this. And it also works like one of the options that you can use this for, if you're not using it for project, it works like an Excel spreadsheet. It has a lot of formulas you can add in, a lot of things you can do with that. So that's Smartsheet. Has anybody here used Smartsheet? And don't be afraid to say yes. You don't have to tell me what you used it for. I'll ask, but you don't have to tell me. Has anybody used Smartsheet before? All right, doesn't look like it. All right, thank you, Crystal. So this is one of my favorites. I really do like it. I've got a bunch of things going on here. One of the things I've done with one organization that I work with that I can show you is we have a conglomeration of different things that are related to COVID. So we have this shared with a whole bunch of people. They can come in and they can get some resources about COVID ID based on different states. So they can just click on this and it pops open. So these cells can become links. So this is another way that you can use Smartsheet. One other way that I've got it set up is for a task tracker. So we have a company that we work with they set up tasks, so we can see what are the open tasks, what are the closed tasks, how long it took to get the tasks done, and things like that. So that's an overview of Smartsheet. That's a nice tool that I really like because it can be used. You can create forms. I've done a survey with this where you can create forms, and people can fill out the form, and it fills in the Smartsheet for you as they fill out the form. Any questions about Smartsheet? And we'll move on to Miro. Any questions at all? All right, so let's move on to Miro, and I'm going to show you something different. We've talked about Miro is one that we've used in a couple different activities that we've used in the past sessions. And this Miro, this is what's called a swim lane. This is not necessarily, this is probably more process related than it is project related. But I just thought I would show you, this is one use of Miro. So one of the things that often comes up as a result of the project is you've created a new process, a new way of doing things. And so there's often confusion in the organization about who does what. So I've just created something where we're going to have a customer, we're going to do a playground. Let's just say it's a playground for a house. And so this company builds playgrounds for houses. So we've done a project to streamline everything. So what is the customer's job? Customer's job is to initiate contact with company. And I'm just making stuff up on the fly as I go here. So that's the first thing that happens. So they're going to contact sales. So we're going to grab something over here, and sales is going to provide provide information to customer. All right, we're going to drag an arrow down and just say that this task is related to that one. I didn't do that quite right, but that's the idea. Let's see if we can scoot that down. There we go. So that connects that one. That says the first thing they initiate, provide information to customer. And after that, then the customer, let's just simplify this, customer decides on design. Okay, so after they provided it to them, we're going to connect this to this. And sales is then going to close sale. Hand off to pricing. I'm not really doing this very well, but that's kind of the idea that you're going to get. They're going to let's see. Customer decides on design. Let's do this. Let's sales hands off to pricing. So they're not going to close the deal quite yet. So we're going to add this arrow back here to this one. And pricing is going to look at it, and they're going to go do a site visit, and they're going to price product, price playground. Okay. They're going to hand it back off to sales. Work with customer to close deal, and so on. So got an extra little box there we'll get rid of. So that's the idea of the swim lane. And then you can go back down once the sale is complete. Operations would take it, and they would actually, or the installers, whatever you want to call them, they would take the deal. And quality assurance would check it once everything's built. And it would go back, maybe sales is also Q&A. So in any of your processes that you have going on, you can actually create a swim lane map that says, this is the order in which things are done. This is who does it, who's responsible for it. And you take it all the way to the close when the customer signs off, bills paid, and you're done. So maybe you have another lane in here called accounting. So this is just one of the many things that you can use Miro from. Miro has a mind mapping utility in it. It has a Kanban utility in it. So it kind of has some of those things that all these others did. It doesn't really have what the Smartsheet option does, but it does have some of those capabilities to get in there and do some of those things. The last one I wanted to show you real quick is called Project Libre. This is more like Smartsheet, but it operates more like Microsoft Project. So if you use a formal project software like Microsoft Project, you do some of the indents and things like that. It builds the Gantt chart out. So this is completely free. The problem with Project Libre is that they're working on a cloud-based solution right now, and they have not done any bug fixes or touched this for quite some time. So there may be some bugs in it. There may be some issues. But if you're building a fairly small, not a very complex project, it works a lot like Microsoft Project, and it is free. So it's a nice tool for small stuff. You start getting into the complex stuff, you're gonna hit some bugs. But you can build your resource list. You can see who all is involved in the project and stuff like that. So it does some nice things. So we're down to about 5 or 6 minutes. I would like to ask you guys have been incredibly quiet this morning. It is Monday. I understand that. It's Monday morning, even worse. What are some ideas, some things that you've used that maybe work better than what you've seen today? I'm sure you've had people that work them better than I do. But what are some projects or some tools that you've seen that you really like? Anybody out there? Or do you have any questions on any of these? I don't know if you hear a plane flying. It sounds like they're right on my roof. Got a plane flying overhead here.
This is Laura.
Yes, Laura.
Our team at SEC uses Asana. It's very similar to the Basecamp layout.
Okay. Okay, good. How do you like it?
I don't.
Okay. What are some strengths and weaknesses that you see with that?
Strengths are that you can list all of your projects.
Mm-hmm.
Weaknesses are there's no really way to sort it
Mm-hmm.
by who is doing what.
Okay.
Yes, you can assign tasks,
Mm-hmm.
but your project list is still a horribly long list of things.
Yeah. Now, let me go back to Smartsheet real quick. One of the things you can do is create a filter. And I'm going to call it Steve. And what I'm going to do is show rows that match the condition of assigned to is Steve Slate. I apply that, and now I only see things that are assigned to me. So I don't see everything that's assigned to everybody else. I can focus on my own stuff, or I can turn it off and see all the other tasks as well. So that might help address that issue, might. Okay.
Could you also sort by alphabetical tasks?
Yes, I've not done that, but I know there is a sort by task name. Yep, sure enough. Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
And it looks like it does the milestones first and then the subtasks second. Okay. Anybody else? We've got just a couple more minutes.
It looks like Jennifer stated that what they use isn't better, just different. They use Microsoft Project and Teams.
Okay. Okay. Microsoft Project is an amazing software product. It'll do anything for you. The weakness I found with that is the price and the number of people that actually can view it and things like that. Because if you buy it for the entire organization, it can get really expensive. So, but yeah, it's good stuff. And Microsoft Teams has really built in a lot of, if you subscribe to Microsoft 365, they've built in a lot of project-oriented software pieces to that. Some really good things. Okay, anybody else? Did you see anything here that any chords that were like, oh, that looks useful, or anything of, yeah, I'm not using that ever. Anything like that this morning? Okay.
Is there a cost associated with Smartsheet, Steve?
There is. You can buy the very cheapest one is like $12 a month, and you have only 10 sheets, so you have to use it sparingly. But then you get to the I don't know if they have educational pricing or not, but then you get into the enterprise versions and things like that, and you have to have so many users. You don't, obviously you don't have to have so many, but you have to pay for them whether you have them or not. So basically you buy seats after that. So I personally have just the 10 sheet one. So when I'm done with something, I'll just retire it, or you can export it to Excel, save it there, come bring it back in when you need it. So it does a lot of stuff. It really does a lot of stuff, not just projects. So, and honestly, I don't make any money from it. So none of this stuff do I make a dime from, but this is just one I've used and I've learned to really like. So any other questions? I think we're MindMeister and Smartsheet. Yep. I think MindMeister is just awesome for brainstorming, and you can just leave it up and tell people to come work on it. And, you know, when they can work on their task or on their milestone, they can build it out when they want to. You don't even have to be there at the same time. So, all right.
Well, I have a question on you said Microsoft 365, is that correct? So that has a built-in project management system?
No, they have a built-in task management. There's probably somebody that could speak to this better than I can. They've started to move into that. I wouldn't call it a full project management system,
Okay.
But they do have some task stuff built into it. And it might depend upon the tier of 365 that you own, how much you get.
Yeah, we're planning on moving over to that.
Oh, okay, okay.
So I was just curious if it would really work for us.
Yeah, I would definitely check it out, check and see what Project 365 offers, because there is some built-in task software. It's just not extremely robust at this point.
Okay.
Okay, what did Talitha say? 365 lets you link a bunch of different products, applications together in teams. And teams is very similar to Slack, if you've heard of Slack. I want to respect your time. I know it's 11 o'clock. I'll just give you a really, really quick light overview. Teams is a product where rather than sending emails back and forth all the time, if your group participates in Teams, you can have a subject. So for example, maybe your subject is the bathroom remodel project. And everything that you write about the bathroom project goes under that category. And so then you have everything categorized already for you, all the emails that go back and forth, all the information that goes back and forth, that would be categorized in Teams. So it kind of is the same idea in a sense as Smartsheet, where you can put everything in one spot and you can keep one thing focused on. So if you have 20 different projects that you're working on, you have 20 different categories. So rather than having to search through all your email, you just go look in Teams under the project category that you're working on, and you can find everything regarding that project. So yeah, there's some, Talitha, did I say that right? Does that sound accurate to you?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, well, it is top of the hour. You're welcome to send me any questions, steve@witerations.com. And otherwise, Dana, I think I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. I hope everyone had one or two good takeaways and maybe found some software that might help them out with their project management. And, keep your eye out. We'll probably be doing some more of these webinars. And again, thanks so much, Steve, for taking the time out and doing these with us. They've been really good. I hope you all have enjoyed them.
Awesome. Been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
You bet. Everyone have a great week.